All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our StoneHardscapes webinar. We're very excited to have many customers from all over the Caribbean and the globe attending. We'll turn it over to Jason soon. We're very excited about this product line, and obviously Jason will go into a little bit more detail about it. We look forward to having you on the webinar. There will be some questions and answers later on, and Jason will be happy to answer them. And should you need more information after the webinar, please feel free to contact me or your sales representative at Horner Express Worldwide. My email address is gbarnes@teamhorner.com. With that, let's turn it over to Jason.
Good morning, everybody. Greg, thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you, absolutely thank you from StoneHardscapes for the opportunity to present today. We're extremely excited about what we have and the opportunity that we have to help you as the customer grow your business. Like Greg said, we're going to dive into StoneHardscapes, the advantage that you have with StoneHardscapes, some of the product itself, a little bit of product knowledge, some of the production processes on the product itself, and then we'll just show some beauty shots. This is, we absolutely could spend hours and hours going through this. Obviously, we don't all have that time to do so, so we're going to touch on what we think is the most important aspects of this. After we're done, like Greg said, we'll have a question and answer period. As always, Horner Worldwide, StoneHardscapes, and myself are always available to answer questions. We'll put up our contact information. And with that, before we get started, anybody have any questions? Awesome. All right. Well, let's get moving then. Again, thank you very much. A quick little overview of what we're going to talk about. We'll do a little bio on me so you guys have a kind of understanding of who I am, what your StoneHardscapes advantage is, the advantages of what we designate the pavers to be as a segmental decking, why natural stone over some other products, a little bit of product knowledge, your production process, and then we'll kind of get into some beauty shots. So myself, I was born and raised into the swimming pool industry. I'm actually a third generation licensed pool builder. I live and have always lived within the Central Florida area. I've lived around the world on several different occasions, but for most of my life, I have been here in Central Florida. And again, I'm a third generation builder. I have 14 plus years of wholesale distribution background and 17 years in the paver industry. I have traveled the world in search of natural stones, and for the industry itself, I've been to China several times, I've been to Mexico several times, and I've been to Turkey several times. So that's kind of who I am. It's really important to understand, at least in my opinion, as to who you're having a conversation with. So let's roll into it then. The StoneHardscapes advantage that you have in partnering with a company like Horner Worldwide and StoneHardscapes. StoneHardscapes itself was founded in 2001 as Olympic Stone and Marble. They were the first, manufacturer and distributor of travertine and marble pavers into the United States, and one of the first to distribute natural stone worldwide. The initial company was set up to educate the market on how to install stone pavers in a sandset application. I think the important aspect really of this is to understand that there are multiple, what we will call importers or exporters of natural stone. There are very few that have been around even close to as long as StoneHardscapes has been around. Turkey's a very unique country where you really have to establish yourself with the government of Turkey, with the organizations over there, with the mines over there, to really set yourself apart and help with the consistency of the products that you purchase, the consistency of the products that you mine, the consistency of the products that you export. StoneHardscapes has been with Team Horner since about 2014. We manufacture and distribute thousands of natural stone selections from over 15 countries around the world. Now, when we say we manufacture, obviously we don't manufacture the stone itself, but because of our standing and because of what we'll get into a little bit later, we have total control over the manufacturing process of the stone. Our manufacturing process and our definition is taking the blocks out of the mountains and forming them and cutting them and shaping them into the sizes that you see for the decking. That's our manufacturing process. We specialize in products for the exterior, such as pavers and veneers and coping. We really specialize in the 6 different products that you see listed: the travertine, the granite, the marble, limestone, coral stone, and basalt. And as you can see on the map here, just a pinpoint of some of the areas that we have purchased and that we mine product in and bring in to not only the United States, but ship around the world. One of the advantages that you have in partnering with StoneHardscapes as a whole, and not just an importer or a broker of natural stone, but because we have been around for so long and because we have a plant and a place within the United States, we have a sheer volume of inventory that not a lot of people can come close to. Currently, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of around 2.5 million square feet of product sitting on the ground in 4 different locations. For the domestic United States and for the islands, that is a huge benefit in the sense that right now, most importers and exporters are quoting customers a 10 to 12 and sometimes 15 to 18 week lead time. Well, in a lot of cases, what they're doing is they're making sure and they're telling their companies and their customers to order or select 3 to 4 different types of pavers for the application. That can become daunting at times. And if you're a homeowner, do you really want to, or you're a customer, do you really want to have to choose 4 different types of product? And in most cases, the color selections on a backyard application, whether it's a swimming pool or a deck or just an area that the customer wants, whether it's commercial or residential, is a passionate choice. And passion goes to what you really want as a customer. And if I've got to pick 4 different or 3 different choices and I don't get my first 2 because of lead time, the last thing you really want is for that homeowner or that customer to say, yeah, I really like the way it looks, but boy, I really would have liked my first choice. With the domestic stock that we have and the sheer volume of inventory that we have, we're able to match and we're able to really deliver 95+% of the customer's first choice. Last year, we imported over 900 containers of travertine. If you think about the volume of that, that's somewhere around 75 containers a month. That's a huge volume of product that's constantly coming in. It allows us to have a consistency of material availability. So if we've got product on the ground or we got product on the water, we've got product backing it up, either in production or loading on a boat, but consistently coming across the ocean. It's another great advantage to our volume of inventory that we're able to maintain our pricing levels. You know, most importers or exporters of natural stone are treating it right now like a commodity. If they're quoting you a price, they're only holding that price for a very short period of time. You know, in their mind, the price today is not tomorrow's pricing. And we've been able to, because of the volume of product that we have, whether it's in our facilities, at the ports, on the water, or in our production facilities over in Turkey, we've had the ability to maintain our pricing throughout the year. You know, I think we just had a price increase only because the product price didn't go up, but the freight price went up. And that is not a long-term pricing increase. It is just a temporary until freight figured out better. But because of that, because of the volume that we have, it's a huge advantage for you as a customer that you can be very confident if you quote somebody a price today, that price is going to be good for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months down the road. What happened here? Also, another one of our great advantages is our depth and breadth of offerings. If you take a look at what we have, if you just look at our catalog offerings, it is 9 different categories, 7 different types of materials, almost 700 choices in there that break down to roughly 144 patio choices, roughly 468 coping choices. You have porcelain, you have product for driveways, you have ledger panels and split face panels. There's really not anything within the industry that we don't have the ability to offer or have to distribute out. That's a huge advantage that you have as a customer, that you're not limited by, you know, a choice selection. You're not limited by what the exporter or importer has. I apologize about this. This is another great advantage is our 4 stocking locations. We have 4 in the U.S. currently. Always looking to develop more as we grow the industry. And then one of the biggest advantages that StoneHardscapes has to offer, and I can't stress enough, is the fact that we have 2 dedicated employees that live and work over in Turkey for us. Now, if you know anything about the government of Turkey or the country of Turkey, a Turkish citizen cannot technically work for a U.S. company, but they can be paid for and controlled by, I say controlled by, but they could be paid for by a U.S. company. So we have 2 gentlemen over there who we pay, who work for StoneHardscapes, and their only job is to ensure the quality and consistency of product that we get, that we're able to give to you. There's maybe 2 or 3 other importers or exporters in the world that can say that. Because we've been there for so long, because we have the dedicated Turkish employees over there, we get first right of refusal on products. When products come out of the mine, we're the first ones there to be able to pick and choose the blocks that we want. It allows us to be very consistent with our quality levels. It allows us to be very, very consistent with our quantity amounts. It allows us to be very consistent with our colors. It allows us to ensure that when we have a product and we market a silver travertine, that silver travertine is going to look like it does from now until 6 months, 8 months, 9 months down the road, until the mountain itself starts to change, because we're not pulling from multiple places, because we're looking at the product before it gets onto the boat. Do we have any questions before we move forward? Okay. Another advantage you have with StoneHardscapes is what we like to call your toolbox. What you have for to be able to offer to customers. Sample sets. We have a new rack system that has now landed. You have catalogs, sample pieces that we can deliver to you. Obviously, product knowledge, which is one of the categories that I'm in charge of. And then we have a new 3D interactive website that should be launching very soon. Also, we offer a monthly webinar series, and I know that the e-blast have been going out. I do one I think it's the first Wednesday of every month. Linda does hers the second Wednesday of every month. Hers is focused on the architectural side. Mine is focused on the stone side. We also have a YouTube channel that they're all printed on, or loaded up on. I would encourage you to take advantage of that. The webinar series are 15 to 30 minutes long. They're interactive, just like we are today. You can ask questions. If you need to go back, a couple of days later, you can take a look at it on the YouTube channel. But again, a huge advantage that you have to be able to offer, to know that we're there behind you, that we're giving you the product knowledge you have, and we're giving you some ideas on the architectural side. Two of the things that our two gentlemen in Turkey are very consistent with is their quality control process. We really look at it in 4 different categories. Category 1 is color and pitting, making sure that the product matches color throughout. So silver is going to be silver, noche is going to be noche, walnut is going to be walnut. Now, obviously, it's a natural product. We don't control the color itself, but we want to make sure the color is consistent, that the silver is not bleeding into another color and we're still selling it as a silver. The other category is cut. When the product comes out of the manufacturing facilities, that it's cut correctly, that a 6x12 is a 6x12 and that it's square. The calibration, making sure that the 3cm is a 3cm, the 2cm is a 2cm, that the 5cm is 5cm, and again, the dimensions, that when we tell you it's 6x12, that it's a 6x12 and it's consistent. These are 4 of the things that our two gentlemen over in Turkey are in control of. Another thing for us is that we have completely been tested. You can be very confident that when you offer a StoneHardscapes natural stone, that it matches and meets all of the coefficient of friction, the compression strength testing, the freeze thaw testing, the water absorption and density testing. For us, these are very important because specifically the coefficient of friction, what we don't want to do is put a product down on a residential or commercial project and have it slippery. Every one of our stones meets this stringent testing so that when you put it down on a wet application that you're not going to slip on it. It's going to meet all your freeze thaw. It's going to meet all your compression strength. It's going to meet your water absorption and density so that it's not going to absorb water and spall over time. And when you get a delivery from us, you can be assured that it's gone through all 4 of those categories because we stamp every one of the pallets and crates that we send out that it has been inspected. Now you'll hear me talk, and you've probably heard me a few minutes ago talk about segmental decking. That's kind of what we categorize the paver industry in. Just really quick, segmental decking. What really segmental decking is, where our pavers fall into, which is a huge advantage over a poured concrete slab, is that it's made up of multiple segments. So they move independently of the one next to it. Concrete cracks. We all know concrete cracks. There's nothing you can do about it. You can try to control that crack, but once the concrete cracks, it cracks and it becomes unsightly. With segmental decking, if a piece moves or falls or cracks, you can pick it up and replace it. The benefit of it is just that, is that it moves independently of the one next to it. Segmental decking also gives you a true custom deck. It's not just a poured concrete, it's not a stained concrete, it's a true custom deck with multiple sizes and shapes and colors. Now, really quick, I love talking about the history of what segmental decking is and the industry itself. But segmental decking has been around for well over 2,000 years. The Roman Empire is really kind of the ones who brought it into fruition. There are still some roads today. If you've ever been to Italy or Rome, there's still some roads today that utilize this system of multiple segments moving independently of the one next to it. The production was really increased in the early 50s and the 60s after World War II to repair some of the roads that were damaged. And and it's really grown over the years. I love this next picture. If anybody has ever been to China or in Beijing, this is the Forbidden City, or the Emperor's Palace in Beijing, that I had the pleasure of touring a couple of years ago. And this is just one of the courtyards. This is a little over 1 million square feet of product, and it's all segmental decking. This is all roughly 7-inch by 13-inch independent pieces of basalt laid side by side, and they move independently of the one next to it. And it's been there for thousands and thousands of years. All right, now, why natural stone? A couple of advantages. Natural stone will take, is cooler to the touch. It's about 15 to 20 degrees cooler than concrete itself. Color range, the products themselves will sort of fluctuate that degree difference, but you can be very confident that it's going to be much cooler to the touch than most concrete applications. Natural stone won't fade over time. It increases the value itself of the project. It's incredibly easy to maintain, and it's truly a one-of-a-kind aesthetic advantage that that project will have over really anything else. Now, if we take just a swimming pool structure, there's really only 3 choices that a customer or homeowner will make on a swimming pool, and that's tile, the water line itself, what kind of pool finish they put in there, and decking. I put this picture up because I think it's a great representation of what natural stone can do to a basic looking swimming pool. This is a rectangle pool with what we call wedding cake steps, no water features, no elevation changes, just a basic nice swimming pool. But they put a beautiful silver travertine around it, and it makes this backyard very stunning. If you just poured concrete around this, it would still be a beautiful swimming pool and a place to be, but it would not have that aesthetic value that really makes it pop. And for those of you who are doing any sort of remodel work, taking old pools and turning them new, this is a great before and after, where nothing really changed on this pool. The tile is the same. The medallion and the raised beam in the back of the pool is exactly the same. The handrail changed from a stainless steel to a powder coated, but the interior finish is exactly the same. The only thing that really changed on this is the decking material. And as you can see, what a drastic difference it made for this pool. One more. Now, they did some extra changes in this. They changed the tile, they changed the pool finish, but what a drastic difference this did. Okay, so a little product knowledge. Our 3 main products that we import are travertine, marble, and limestone. And as you can see in the bottom here, kind of what the difference really is between the 3 products, the travertine being a sedimentary rock, marble being a metamorphic, limestone being a sedimentary rock. But these are really the 3 main ones that we import. Now, with that, we offer them in 3 types of finishes. From left to right, you have sandblasted, tumbled, and leathered. Right in the middle, tumbled by far is the #1 product that we bring in. Sandblasted will give you some more texture. Leathered gives you a feel on top of the paver. It gives you a little bit of a slight texture, a slight, let's call it a brushed texture on top of it. But keep in mind, as you look at these 3 products, all 3 of them are our Biancaneve. And as you can see, what happens to the look of the product itself when you start to manipulate the stone. So right in the center, the tumbled, that's what the product looks like. When you go to the right and you go leathered, it sort of dulled down that look just a little bit. When you go to sandblasting, it dulled it down even more. Same product, 3 different finishes. All right, now let's go to quality levels. The difficult thing sometimes in the natural stone industry, and we're leading somewhere here, but one of the difficult things in the natural stone industry is that there's no real governance over the different quality levels of product. Different importers and exporters call the quality levels different things, from plus to premium to classic, which is our designation. Our top of the line is plus. Our second level is premium. Our third level is classic. But as you can see, there's multiple definitions of the different quality levels. Some customers call it select, some customers call it select premium, first quality, first choice. There's no real governance in that. And one of the things we try to do as an exporter or an importer or a supplier of product to you is to make sure that we're matching like products. So the term we use is apples to apples. So if a customer is trying to sell you or a dealer is trying to sell you a product that they call select, well, that'll match with our premium. We want to make sure that we're trying to match the like product, because a lot of times if we'll show a plus, another importer or exporter will show what they call their select, and it doesn't match up in quality levels. And we'll see here in a second the different types of quality levels. So as you can see here, the first one on the left is what we would call our plus, first quality. There's very minimal color variations. The pitting is no larger than 1/8 of an inch. Total pitting is no more than 5 to 10% of the total surface area. And the calibration dimensions are within a 1/16 of an inch, but really for us, it's within about a 32nd of an inch. The middle grade, the second quality, as you can see, has some moderate color range. Pitting is no larger than 3/8 of an inch. Total pitting is less than 10 to 20% of the total surface area, and the calibration is within about 2/16 of an inch. And then the third quality, or the select quality, there's considerable color range. Pitting is no larger than 3/4 of an inch. Total pitting is less than 12 to 40%, and the calibration is within 3/16. So as you can see the difference, the exact same product, 3 different quality levels. We strive, and we have worked very hard over the last 5 years on really trying to put a governance on the import industry to have a better control over what the quality levels are. Not from a selfish standpoint, but for a customer standpoint, because we want to make sure the customers are getting exactly what they're been told they're getting, and that they understand the quality levels. Too many times in our industry, a customer thinks they're getting a very high quality product, where in turn they're getting potentially a third quality product. And that third quality product might not stand up over time, especially in certain types of environments. We've worked tirelessly to institute the Global Stone Institute. It was established to create an honest and transparent narrative into the natural stone industry. Like I said, there hasn't been really any governance. There's very little existing credibility and too much garbage, what we call garbage material, being sold as a premium or a plus. No other importer follows such a standard. We follow this standard. So if we're selling you a plus product, we are matching with what we call a plus product, where the Global Stone Institute calls a plus product. So when you order a plus from us or a premium from us, you can be very sure that that's what you're going to get. Selfishly, if I'm selling you a plus product, but I'm delivering to you something less than that, I don't want to have to worry about a warranty issue. I don't want to have to chase it down. I don't want you to call your worldwide rep, who then calls us and says, this product is no good. It was supposed to be this quality, but ends up being this quality. It's much easier for us at the beginning to inform you of what you're getting, so that everybody's educated and has knowledge of the product line itself, and that we're matching that quality of product. The goal of the Global Stone Institute is to better educate the contractor and the homeowners to the different quality of product available. It's to set a standard of quality levels for the industry itself to follow. The goal is transparency. We follow the Global Stone Institute in the transparency of. We have available these cards that we can get to every one of you that gives you an outline, gives you a range of what the quality levels should be so that you can follow along with that. So when you're talking to a customer, you can educate them on what to expect in the different quality levels. The different quality levels will also educate them on the different pricing levels of product, because obviously a plus grade product is going to be more expensive than a classic grade product. It's a better stone. Are there any questions we have now? Okay. So I always enjoy this part of the presentation itself, because it's always nice to understand where the stone comes from. There's a beautiful product that you see laying on this pool deck here, but how do we get that stone? All the stone comes from a quarry. It's not what you would think as a mine that is shafted down through tunnels. It's a quarry that is tabletop down as they take the mountain down itself. There are thousands of natural quarries around the world. Each layer of the quarry can roughly be 12 to 40 feet high. And it takes approximately 2 to 2.5 years to excavate each layer. StoneHardscapes, we have quarry affiliations throughout the world. Our primary one is in Turkey. Our primary affiliations are in Turkey. And as you can see on this slide here, you can see kind of where we pull the stone from. All the different quarries and ports that we pull the product from in Turkey. Now some Turkish stone facts. There are roughly about 2,500 licensed quarries actively in Turkey today. 2,000 quarries, about 9,000 employees. There's about 4 billion cubic meters of marble there, and there's about 2.8 to 2.9 billion cubic meters of operable travertine on a yearly basis. Here's another picture of a quarry. Now, what happens in these quarries, as they're tabletopping them down, they'll what we call stair step. They'll take these big blocks, they'll take a huge drill bit, they'll drill straight down about roughly 6 to 8 feet behind the face. They'll drill down, whatever the height of it is, 12 to 40 feet. They'll drill in from the face. And then as you can see in these yellow lines, what they'll do is they will connect a diamond encrusted cable. And that diamond encrusted cable is attached to a wheel. And that wheel spins that cable. And as it cuts through it, it rolls back on rails to keep the tension. And they'll cut that big block out of the mountain that way. Once they cut that block out of the mountain, they'll top that block down, they'll topple it, it'll fall, it'll break into pieces. And then those pieces are cut, as you can see here. Again, the yellow lines designate where the cable is. Those pieces are cut into a manageable size, these sizes here that can go onto a truck. Now, typically at this point here, we'll go back one slide. This point here is when we get to designate kind of the quality of the product. We get to pick and choose our blocks. At this point here, and it's at this point here. So our two gentlemen over in Turkey will go through the factories, we'll go through the mines and say, this is a high quality of silver. This is a StoneHardscapes block. This is a StoneHardscapes block. This is a StoneHardscapes block. From this, it goes into the manufacturing facility and it's run through these giant saws. These giant saws will start cutting them into more manageable shapes and sizes. From there, they'll run it through a grinder. They'll run it through some more saw blades. And you get a rough finished product. From there, that rough finished product will go through a brushing line. That brushing line will help sort of hone that down a little bit to tighten that calibration up, to get rid of any rough spots on it. It's repalletized again. It's moved over to the tumbling machine. The product is dropped into a big tumbling bin and tumbled. It softens the edges up, so you don't have those hard, crisp edges that are gonna chip over time. Smaller pieces go into a tumbling bin like this. Larger pieces go into a larger tumbling bin. Once this process is done, if the product is meant to be tumbled, and that's the finish, it'll be palletized or crated. If it's going to be sandblasted, it'll go to the sandblasting line. If it's going to be leathered, it'll go to the leather line. Once those 2 processes or 3 processes are done, it is inspected one more time, and smaller materials, 6x12, 4x8, 6x12 coping, 4x8 coping will go into a pallet and inspected and wrapped. You'll get the inspection tag on it. You'll get the product tag on it. If it is a larger product, it'll go into crates. And this is how you'll receive it in crates. That's how the process is done for the stone itself. From that process, you get this. And this is what stone does for you. This is what natural stone does for you. The beauty of this product is unmatched. What it can do for the projects that you're selling is remarkable. And again, quality of project increases the profitability of the project. When you're selling a true custom deck, when you're selling a natural stone deck, your profitability goes up. The aesthetic beauty of the project goes up. Our goal, what we strive for, is that when that homeowner, that customer sits in their backyard, all they can say is, man, this is beautiful. This is what I envisioned my deck, my swimming pool area, my backyard to look like. Okay, with that, that's my presentation today. Does anybody have any questions? So I got one question here. It says, do the pavers require sealing? That's a great question. No, they do not require sealing. Depends on the environment that you're installing the pavers into is to whether or not we would recommend you to seal it. Big part of this is keep this in mind. First, make sure you have the right sealer. You need something that is what we call an impregnating sealer or a penetrating sealer, something that's going to get down into the stone itself and not be a topical sealer. Too many times somebody will go and buy something cheap from a big box store and seal the pavers that way. What happens is that sealer will actually cure before it absorbs. It'll create a very hazy and tacky feel to the pavers themselves. That's not what you want. Now, the advantage to sealing a paver is you're going to enhance the look of the stone itself. You're going to bring that out. It's like wetting the pavers down. You're going to put a layer of protection around those pavers. So you have some time to clean dirt and debris. You have some time to clean spills on it. The disadvantage to sealing the paver is once you seal that stone once, you are married to sealing that stone throughout the lifetime. Eventually that sealer will wear down, and it's going to wear down in high traffic areas before it wears down in areas of the deck that are never touched. So there'll have to be some spot sealing here and there. So to answer your question, does it need to be? Yes. Does it have to be? Or does it need to be? No. Does it have? Should it be? Probably. Any other questions?
Hi, everyone. The mics have been open, so if you have any questions, you can actually ask them live.
So somebody asked, Gene, you asked for the Globostone Institute quality level specifications. You can find that on our website at StoneHardscapes.com. If you want to reach out to me, I will have some of the hard copies sent your way. You're welcome. Okay, then I guess with that, we will end today. Greg, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do this. I look forward to doing this more for you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jason. That was great. And again, I encourage you guys, if you have any other questions, please get with your Horner Express Worldwide representative, or you feel free to contact me directly at gbarnes@teamhorner.com or call. And we'll be happy to assist further. But thanks again for attending this. We greatly appreciate it. And we will be doing some more webinars during the course of the year. So keep your eyes open for that. We'll be sending some information on those shortly. Thanks again, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.